Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Social Studies class. Of course, you know this is your teacher, Mr. Clarke. Now, I must really apologize to my viewers and subscribers. I have not put out a new video in quite a while. It has really been an hectic year for me, and as such, I have not been able to put out any new video. So I must apologize to you all, right? However, it is near to CXC, and I realized that we have several persons that have been following the channel and have been watching the videos, and for that I really want to thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the love and the support. Some persons would have reached out to me, asking for a live session or some sort of a marathon. I am not sure how that will work just yet, but keep your fingers crossed. If I can, I will be sure to assist you where that is concerned. But for today now, I want to look at a part of the 2016 paper 2 past paper, right? I want to do a paper review on the 2016 past paper. I realize that students often struggle as it relates to answering short answer questions. So I usually place emphasis on this area, right? So as best as possible, I'm going to be doing some questions, the first section of the paper of the 2016 paper 2. All right. So as usual, if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and please subscribe. And after you have subscribed, please hit that notification bell so that you will be notified each time I put out a new video. All right. So the first question, section 1, the first question: what is bigamy? Bigamy is an illegal practice of getting married to a person while still being legally married to another person, right? So it's like you're getting married to somebody without getting divorced from the person that you were married to in the first place, right? Now, as long as you explain that bigamy is a crime, it is an illegal act, right? In which you get married to a person while still being legally married to a first person, the first person. That is what bigamy is. You should get your 2 marks for that. All right. The second question, B1. State 2 factors that may cause newly married couples to delay parenthood. Now you can write many answers for this, but the 2 answers that I have written here: the couple may not be financially stable and wants to ensure that they are in a position to provide for their children before they decide to have any. Right? So of course, it's very difficult to take care of a child financially. So couples usually, especially young couples, usually want to ensure that they are in a position, they are financially capable of taking care of a child before they decide to bring one into the world. All right. The second answer that I've provided here: the couple may want to ensure that they pursue their educational goals first before becoming parents, right? I think that is pretty straightforward. Most couples try to ensure that they get education out of the way first. They get the educational goals, that is, out of the way first, right? The next question, B2, outline 2 reasons why emotional readiness is necessary for good parenting. All right, so my answers that I've provided here: children usually model the behaviors of their parents. Therefore, parents need to ensure that they are not emotionally unstable and will not display any negative behavior that will be modeled by the child, right? So as prospective parents, you have to ensure that you are emotionally stable, you're emotionally ready. And one reason, because children usually live what they learn, right? So if, for example, the couple is always fighting, that is a sign of instability, right? Emotional instability. So the couple is not emotionally stable if they're always fighting. And you don't want to bring a child into the world knowing that what the child will grow up seeing is both parents fighting. You understand? That child is likely to model that behavior, right? So parents try to ensure that they are emotionally stable before they enter into parenthood. All right. The second answer: children are vulnerable and oftentimes they crave attention. love and affection. When parents are not emotionally ready, they will not be able to give children the love and affection that they need. Right? I think this is pretty straightforward. If you are not able to love, if you are not able to show the attention and the affection that children will need, then it simply means that you are not emotionally ready, right, to become parents. All right? All right, suggest giving full details. And I wanted to pay attention. I wanted to pay attention to these questions, right? Suggest giving full details. 3 strategies which parents may use to encourage their children to communicate with them. And the second part of that question says you are supposed to explain fully why each strategy suggested is likely to be successful. Right? Now, if you notice my answers here, they are color-coded, right? Because I want students to understand that you cannot just state the strategy and expect to get full marks, right? The question says you are supposed to give full details, right? So not only are you expected to outline the strategy clearly, but you are also expected to give details on the strategy. In other words, my understanding of it is that you're expected to give some information on the strategy. Tell how you think this strategy can be implemented. Notice I'm saying how, right? Because the second part of the question will require you to justify your answer. And that is not really telling how, but that is basically telling or why you think this strategy is likely to be effective, right? So basically in the first part, when you are expected to outline the strategy, you're expected to just basically outline what the strategy is and say, give a little bit of information about the strategy itself, right? Now what I have done here is that I have outlined the strategy in green. I have highlighted the part in green that in which the strategy is outlined, and then the further details I have put that in yellow. All right, because after that now I am going to basically justify the strategy. Parents can ensure that they involve children in developing family rules, right? So that's my strategy right there. Now, this is me giving further details now. The parents should encourage children to not only give ideas for family rules, but also to make suggestions for possible sanctions as well. All right, so that is my strategy, and I have added some additional information on the strategy as to how I think it can work, right? How you can put it into practice. Now, in terms of the justification, now the second part of the question says, explain fully why each strategy suggested is likely to be successful. All right, so my justification is, this is likely to be successful because developing family rules together will encourage dialogue among all family members. Children will feel that their opinions are valued and will therefore feel comfortable to express themselves around all family members, right? So when children are a part of the process of developing family rules, of course you're going to ask what they think, you're going to ask for their opinions and suggestions. And when you do that, you're basically providing them with that feeling of importance, allowing them to feel that their opinion is valued. And as such, they will feel more comfortable to talk to you, to communicate with you, right? And that is the objective. That is what you want to achieve. All right. The second point, parents can ensure that they plan family trips and other recreational activities together and not just exclude their children from the decision-making process. All right? So I go further to give details. Allow children to decide where they want to go, which games they would like to play, or which movies they would want to watch. All right, so that is me again giving further details. So if you want to ensure that your strategy is comprehensive and you get maximum marks, don't just write one line outlining the strategy. Ensure that you add a supporting sentence to basically give details about the strategy. All right, my justification: when children are involved in these decisions, The planning itself will encourage communication between parents and children. Also, since the child would be engaged in activities that they themselves help to select, then they are likely to be very engaged and will feel comfortable expressing their thoughts and feelings, right? Because they had a say in which activities the families partake in. They had a say in which movie they want to watch, where they want to go. You understand? So they are likely to be very engaged in discussions around these activities. All right. So once you involve the children in the planning of recreational activities, you're likely to have some amount of dialogue between yourself, the parent, and the child in that process. All right. Number 3, parents can ensure that they play an active role in their children's education. Ensure that they attend PTA meetings, sporting events at their school, prize giving ceremonies, and inquiring or assisting them with their assignments. Again, I'm going to point out for emphasis that I have stated the strategy in highlighted here in green, and in yellow I have given additional details, right? So you're doing this to get maximum marks. All right, so your justification, when children recognize that their parents are showing interest in their school life, they will value the support and they will also feel appreciated. This is likely to boost their self-esteem and encourage dialogue with their parents. Children will appreciate the fact that they have someone who they can ask questions, share experiences, and receive advice from. Right? So when children realize that, when children realize rather that their parents are involved in their schooling, right, in their education, in their recreational activities, in their extracurricular activities. You're a part of a football team and your parents take the time out to come and watch one of your match, or ask you about what is going on in school, right? Try to assist you as it relates to completing assignments. Then you're going to feel that, you're going to feel the love, you're going to feel the support, you're going to feel that somebody is interested in you, right? And that, of course, will encourage communication between the parents and the children. All right? 2A, define the term culture. All right, now culture is a term that you would have been exposed to from even as far back as primary school, right? So most persons, should be able to define culture. So culture is the beliefs, practices, norms, customs, and general way of life of a society, right? Some people simply say culture is the way of life of a people, or culture is the way of life of a particular set of people or a society. Any one of those answers, as long as you're basically saying that culture is a way of life, and of a people, of a society, then your answer would be accepted. All right, next question. List 2 factors which contribute to the cultural variety seen in Caribbean music. Now, this is a very tricky question in my opinion. You understand? Because it asks specifically about the cultural variety seen in Caribbean music. All right, now these are the answers that I have come up with. And please remember that your answers may be different from mine. I also welcome additional answers in the comment section. So please feel free to, make your thoughts known, make your opinions known in the comment section, right? So if you have any ideas as to what answers you can put for any particular question, please feel free to do so. All right, so the answers that I've come up with: the various ethnic groups that came to the Caribbean has resulted in different dances being involved in the music. Different ethnic groups have added their individual contributions to the dance element of Caribbean music, adding to the cultural variety of the music, right? So what I've done here is basically to tie in dance with music. So even though the question asks specifically about music, in my opinion, it is very difficult to separate dance from music, or music from dance, right? So basically, where you have music, you usually have dance, and of course we know about the contributions of the different ethnic groups in relation to our dances, right? We know, of course, that John Kuno was brought here from by the Africans. We know that maypole and quadrille, were brought here by the Europeans. So basically, that is showing cultural diversity in relation to dancing, and dance is, of course, a part of music, in my opinion. All right. The second answer: cultural variety in Caribbean music is caused by the dominance of the different ancestral groups in different areas of the Caribbean. The Eastern Caribbean has a high concentration of Indians, and this has led to the development of soca in this section of the Caribbean. Whereas Jamaica has a high concentration of African descendants, leading to the development of African beats by the use of drums, horns, shakers, which is the foundation for reggae and dancehall music. Right? So basically what I'm saying here is that if you notice in the Eastern Caribbean, in countries such as Trinidad, and even Barbados, soca music is the dominant music there. And this is so because you have a lot of Indians in that side of the Caribbean. Right? So the Indians have influenced the type of music that has developed in that part of the Caribbean. Because soca is a fusion of calypso and Indian rhythms, right? So you find that, the Indians are largely responsible for the development of soca in the Eastern Caribbean, particularly in Trinidad and Barbados, right? Now, whereas in Jamaica now, you have a high concentration of Africans, right? So you have a lot of African descendants in Jamaica. So that is why, and Africans, of course, normally, they are heavily indulged in drumming, in the shakers, horns and stuff. And these are the key instruments that were used, that are used rather in reggae music, right? And also in dancehall. So that is why you find that reggae and dancehall in Jamaica or this side of the Caribbean, and you'll find soca mostly in the Eastern Caribbean because of the influence of the different ancestral groups that were apart, that have been scattered in different parts of the Caribbean. All right? So we move on. Outline 2 reasons why Caribbean musicians may wish to promote their particular style of music. All right, so my 2 answers here. Caribbean musicians may wish to promote their style of music because it is unique and rare due to its multiracial origin. As a result, they feel the need to showcase this style of music to the world. Right? So because, our music is unique, having been developed from different ethnic groups, it is unique, it is rare. And when you have something that is rare and unique, usually you want to, let other people across the world know about it. Right? So that is what I'm saying here. So the Caribbean musicians may feel the need to expose, right, or promote their type of music to the world because of its unique and rare characteristic. All right, so that's my point. The second point, the nature of the music itself, which exposes Caribbean lifestyle and Caribbean rhythms, is another feature that may prompt Caribbean musicians to promote their music. If promoted, Caribbean music can be used as a tool to gain recognition and attract visitors to the region. Right, so what we're saying here, the artists usually sing about what is happening in the Caribbean. They usually sing about Caribbean lifestyle, right? And they use authentic Caribbean rhythms most times. So this can be used as a tool to really attract visitors, to encourage people to come to the Caribbean and enjoy the music. All right, so that is why some Caribbean musicians may want to promote their style of music. All right, I have given you a third answer also, and probably you will like this answer more than the other 2. Caribbean musicians may promote their style of music because they want to keep their music alive, right? The introduction of new musical forms from other regions into the Caribbean has provided competition for Caribbean music. Therefore, Caribbean artists may feel compelled to promote their music in order to preserve it and keep it alive. Right? So we speak about globalization. We speak about, the Caribbean being open you know, to other regions. Caribbean people, they are now listening to other musical forms from outside the region. So that type of music, it has infiltrated the Caribbean. It has formed competition, right, for Caribbean music produced in the Caribbean. So in order to keep our music alive, in order to preserve it, we have to try and promote it. All right, so that is what I'm saying right there. All right, so we move on. Suggest giving full details. 3 strategies the Ministry of Culture may use to encourage artists to create music featuring Caribbean rhythm. And again, as usual, we have a B part. Explain fully why each strategy suggested is likely to be successful. All right, so my answers here. The Ministry of Culture may host competitions promoting the use of authentic Caribbean rhythms. These competitions will be televised and artists will be expected to create clean music using Caribbean rhythms only. Incentives will also be given to the winners, right? So I've given a lot of details in terms of, what my strategy is all about. All right, so here I would be expecting to get full marks because not only have I stated the strategy, but I've also given additional details, and that is what you want to do. All right, now the justification in terms of why it is likely to be successful. This kind of competition will ensure that all Caribbean artists and music producers engage in research and become fully aware of Caribbean rhythms. This is likely to develop an appreciation and continued use of these rhythms, right? Please remember that you can always write more. You can write more, right? So my informations, they are a little bit limited for obvious reasons. I'm making a video, but when you go in the exam, you may please feel free to write more, right? Because you get a lot of spaces to write these answers, and you have to ensure that you capitalize on the spaces and ensure that you try to get maximum marks for each question. All right. Now the second answer that I've given, the Ministry of Culture may conduct workshops for musicians using trained professionals from tertiary institutions. Again, I'm going to give you additional details. Instructors from these colleges and universities will go into the community centers or other centrally designated locations and conduct workshops with musicians. All right, so that's my strategy. The justification: these kinds of workshops will more than likely develop an awareness of Caribbean rhythms and the importance of preserving this aspect of culture. Patriotism and loyalty to the region may also be emphasized and these workshops and this will ensure that artists feel the need to utilize Caribbean rhythms to create their music. Right? So once it is done by professionals, people that work at the universities, they are likely to ensure that they focus on certain areas and sensitize Caribbean artists as to the importance of using Caribbean rhythms, and that of course will ensure continued usage. All right. The third strategy, the Ministry of Culture may put on road shows or music festivals featuring Caribbean rhythms exclusively, right? So Caribbean rhythms alone. These road shows or music festivals will be hosted by cultural agents from various organizations such as media houses, schools, and music producers. All right, so my justification here: this is likely to be successful because artists and patrons will be exposed to Caribbean rhythms exclusively. This type of promotion is likely to encourage potential artists that may be in the audiences to use Caribbean rhythms, which will in turn ensure continued use. Right, so once you have potential artists, people who want to become artists, they're in the audiences, they're listening to these Caribbean rhythms being played, you understand, at the road shows, at the festivals, then more than likely they will develop an interest in Caribbean rhythms, and when they start their producing their music, they, may be drawn to these types of rhythms, right? And ensure that we continue to use Caribbean rhythms in producing music. All right, so those are my 3 strategies and justification. Moving on to the next question, read the dialogue below and answer the questions which follow. Josh, this is Josh speaking now. I have not voted for a parliamentary representative for my area for the last 3 elections. All right, now Stan has responded. Stan says, I don't bother to vote either. The floating voters always decide the outcome of the election. All right, so the question says, what does the term floating voter in the dialogue mean? All right, so my answer here, a floating voter is a voter that is likely to change his or her vote in each election and is not loyal to a specific political party. Right, so any voter that, they vote differently at each election, depending on circumstances, depending on who they see as, being the better politician, they are not persons that you would call die-hearted. So they are likely to change their vote from time to time. Right, so that's a floating voter. State the term used to describe the voter behavior shown by the 2 speakers in the dialogue. Right, so the 2 speakers are basically expressing that they don't have an interest in voting. Right, and when people don't have an interest in voting and they stay away from the voting process, we refer to it as voter apathy. Right, so the term used to describe this behavior is voter apathy. Moving on, the next question says, give 3 reasons why some registered voters may behave in a way similar to the speakers engaged in the dialogue. 2 reasons why some registered voters may choose not to vote is because they are overconfident in their party's chances of winning, so they assume that their vote won't be needed. Right? So you find some people that say, I don't have to vote. Whether I vote or not, my party is going to win. So that is overconfidence, right? So they are overconfident in their party's chances of winning. So as a result, they stay away from the voting process. Next answer, another reason could be that they are not satisfied with their party's choice of candidates. Therefore, they decide not to participate in the voting process. All right, so some persons, is typical of some parties to send candidates that the persons in the constituency do not approve of. Right, so some persons as a result will decide that, okay, I am not going to vote. If you don't send the candidate that we ask for, I am not going to participate in the election. So as a result, some persons, will stay away from the voting process. All right, so those are my answers for that question. Moving on to the next question. State 1 problem that may arise when newly registered voters are not educated about the process of voting in an election. Right, so students, as I usually say to my students, please pay careful attention to the questions. All right, so the question right here is asking about newly registered voters and they are not educated about the process of voting in an election. Right, so here we're talking about election day itself. All right, so my answers here, 1, they may end up spoiling their ballot. You understand? So if you're not educated, sometimes you may mark 2 X's, for example, and that is regarded as a spoiled ballot. You may put a tick instead of an X, and that again is regarded as a spoiled ballot. Right? So you are not educated as to what should happen, so you spoil your ballot. All right, the next answer, they may also vote for the wrong party. All right, what do we mean by the wrong party? The party that you do not desire to vote for. Right, so some people, not knowing how to vote, may go behind the booth, may go in the polling station, and you may put the X beside the wrong name, right? So that you end up voting for the wrong party because you don't know how to vote. All right, I have given a 3rd reason, right? So even though they asked for 1 problem, I have given you 3 possible problems that may arise. they may lose their opportunity to exercise their franchise because they did not follow the rules governing the voting process. Right? So some persons, they may choose not to follow the rules because, of course, they don't know the rules, and there are rules surrounding the voting process. And if you don't follow the rules, you may find yourself not getting a chance to vote. All right, so those are my 3 answers. Last question here. Suggest giving full details. 3 strategies which the youth arm of a political party may use to encourage young people to vote. All right, so please note again, they're asking specifically about the youth arm. They're not asking about the MPs, but they're asking about what the youth arm of a political party may use to encourage young people to vote. And as usual, the part 2, you're expected to explain fully why each of the strategies suggested is likely to be successful. All right, so these are my answers. The youth arm of political parties may create political advertisements using popular artists and that may appeal to young people. These ads would feature current and popular hit songs that are modified to involve the party's name and the objectives or the plans of the party. All right, so that's my first strategy. The justification: this is likely to work as young people are very interested in music and popular hit songs are likely to capture their attention. All right, delivering advertisements through music can be a very convincing tool as most young people are influenced by the music that they listen to, especially when delivered by their favorite artists. Where's the lie? I mean, we know that, young people, they are drawn to music. They live music. They eat, they sleep music. You understand? So once you use music to get across to them, once you use their favorite artists, once you focus on using the hit songs, the songs that are out there right now, the songs that are current, you're bound to get their attention. And believe it or not, but advertisements are usually very powerful and they usually influence people's behavior, right? So using advertisements, using songs to advertise the plans of the party, using popular artists is bound to draw the attention of some people and encourage them to participate in the voting process. All right. So the next strategy here, another strategy that could be utilized by the youth arm of political parties is to conduct house-to-house visits on behalf of their senior political leaders and present themselves as the face of the party, right? This would be done not only at election time, but randomly throughout the year. Personally, I believe that this is one of the big problems that politicians face. You only see them when it's near to election time, right? So if the young people can present themselves right throughout the year, let the people see them constantly, right? Then, of course, they would be more drawn to the voting process. So my justification here, this is likely to work as potential young voters are more likely to listen to people of their own age group who can relate to their needs, right? So this will also build confidence and encourage participation in elections, as young people will be encouraged by the prospect of having young representatives in government, right? So once you see young people who you can relate to, you understand, and who can relate to you, you will feel more comfortable to participate in the voting process because you will feel that these are persons that understand your need. And once you see them coming around more often, right, not just election time, then you are more likely to feel comfortable and feel like, this is a welcome change. You understand? So you would want to see these persons and persons that you can complain to, persons that you can sit and have dialogue with. All right? So that's the second strategy and justification. The third strategy, the youth arm of the political party may also organize political debates with their youth oppositions. In these debates, these young politicians would create and present their own manifestos, These debates would be broadcasted over social media, and a poll would be set up for viewers to vote and select the winners of the debate. All right, so my justification here, this is likely to be successful as most young people are excited about the competitive element of elections, and a debate is likely to bring out this type of excitement. Not only will prospective young voters be intrigued by these debates, but they will also get a chance to listen to the different plans put forward by the political parties. Young people are the main users of social media. Therefore, they would get a chance to view the debates and familiarize themselves with voting by selecting their winners of the debate. Alright, so these are my justifications. Please note that I have tried to ensure that I focus on each point in the strategy. Right? This is where we're going to stop for today. I am going to do another video to basically show you how to approach, the questions, how to answer your short answer questions. Because I realize that this is where many students fall short. So I am, in short order, I am going to ensure that I do another video, a follow-up video to ensure that, I assist you as best as possible in terms of answering your questions. All right, so this is where we stop for today. Let us hope that you would have learned something from today's class, and I will see you in the next class. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Social Studies class. Of course, this is your teacher, Mr. Clarke. Now, I must really apologize to my viewers and subscribers. I have not put out a new video in quite a while. It has really been a hectic year for me, and as such I have not been able to put out any new video. So I must apologize to you all, right?